Hello and welcome to the first edition of This Week in Campbell basketball for the 17-18 season. This is your weekly look at Campbell men's and women's basketball. I'm Chris Haymeyer and excited about what should be an exciting season for both the men's and women's basketball team. Women, of course, coming off the 21-win season. The Campbell men's basketball team coming off 19 wins, both teams making it to postseason tournaments last year. The women are off to another great start, and our voice of Campbell women's basketball, Bill Priestley, caught up with head coach Ronnie Fisher.
Here with the head women's basketball coach, Ronnie Fisher. And Ronnie, we're through 3 games through the year so far. You're 2-1, a couple of good home wins, and a good test on the road. How do you view your team right now at this point in the season?
Well, I think we're improving, which is key, and that's our goal every game is just try to get better than we were the last game. And I thought we had a lot of positives against Upstate here, played with good energy, but we've got a lot to work on and really improve, and hopefully we've made those adjustments. It's going to be a very tough one going down to the college.
One of the things that has really impressed me so far with this team is the impact that you've had with the freshmen that have come in. You've got one that starts. You've got one that was the freshman of the week this past week in the Big South. You've got another that has a brilliant three-point shooter as well as a good assist player as well. Tell us a little bit about this freshman class and how much they're impacting you guys.
Well, it's a really good class, and all 5 of them bring something different, and they're all 5 helping us right away, which is neat. It's just such a learning process with the speed of the game and just the physical toughness and defense that they have to play. And they're getting there, but it's taking a little time. But I love all 5 of them, and from game to game, they're all 5 going to be able to contribute.
And not only that, of course, but you've got some great leadership there up top, Summer, Michaela, and they are leading this team proudly.
Well, against Upstate, they both played tremendous defense, and they led us on the defensive end, and they're really good offensive players, but we have to have that from them game in and game out to have the confidence that we can stop somebody. And those 2 are our best 2 perimeter defenders, and they did a tremendous job against Upstate and will be challenged against College of Charleston.
With that, when you look at this team, how much depth is really on this team? Because it looks like you could go 10 or 12 deep.
We can, and we're getting significant contributions off the bench. I think we've outscored our opponent from the bench in all 3 games, and that's big. Even Kansas, I think we outscored them. Our bench outscored their bench. And each night it's kind of somebody different, and really, really pleased with that. Alicia's come off the bench and given us a lift. Haley Barber's given us a lift as she gets more healthy. And we've got a lot of kids over there that can play, and it helps us because we don't have to play tired. And so that depth does come into play, especially in that fourth quarter.
I know you got a couple of good matchups this week, College of Charleston, UNCG, both on the road. Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Chris, back to you.
The men are off to a 2-2 start and ready to host the Creek Classic. It'll be 3 games in 3 days featuring 4 teams, and we caught up with Campbell head men's basketball coach Kevin McGinn to talk about the upcoming weekend. With Campbell head men's basketball coach Kevin McGinn, and Coach, I know it's just 4 games in, but at 2-2, your thoughts on your squad?
Well, I think we've done a lot of good things so far. I love the fact that we're sharing the ball really well. I think that is a sign of a good team and a together team. Obviously, the way we played the other day versus Wilmington at the end, and then the other day without Chris is good. Those guys get experience. They realize that we can adjust well when things change. That could happen with another player who is in foul trouble or what have you, and just the ability to be adaptable when the time comes, I think, is a good sign. And I think the attitude and the mentality is where we should be. Obviously, this is an exciting opportunity coming up with having 3 home games in 3 days and a chance to play against some good competition.
You're talking, of course, about the Creek Classic coming up this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You got a MAC school in there, a school from the Atlantic Sun, a school from the Southland, some conferences we don't see a lot. What will a tournament like this do for you guys?
Well, I think any time that you get a chance to play in this kind of format, you give yourself a chance to start to prepare like you will for postseason, whether it be conference tournament or beyond. And that's an exciting opportunity. And we always try to, put that in our guys' minds of that the preparation is different. Usually you have 2 days to prepare for every opponent, and sometimes 1, but usually not, some hours, and doing a lot more chalk work and mental approach to preparation. I think that's good, and it shows maturity in the team if you're able to, apply that information well and be able to play well and with energy. Obviously, you think about your bench in a different way a lot of times in this format where you're, knowing that there's a bit of a wear down effect of so much basketball back to back to back, and so I think that a lot of coaches will go about it a little bit differently and try to stretch it a little bit more to make sure you have enough when you need it the most. But it's a really cool opportunity, and obviously being here in the Creek, I know we're going to get great crowds, and hopefully lots of folks eat their turkey and then come here and watch us play basketball.
Coach, one of the fun things has been watching you use your bench over your first 2 home games, but let's talk about one of your starters really stepping up. Marcus Burke, just a sophomore, but he's averaging 32 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah, he's really shooting the ball well right now, playing with incredible confidence. I think it's even showing up in some of his drives to the basket and things like that where, it's one thing whenever, all your threes are going down or you're feeling good about the way you're shooting the ball, but he's also supplementing that with some real aggressive play off the dribble and just heads up basketball. I think, his confidence is at a high, and I think, that's a key for all our guys, when things are, when you're really playing with supreme confidence in yourself, confidence in each other, then you're going to play your best. And right now he's in that groove, and hopefully he keeps it going for a long time.
Finally, Coach, I know everybody wants to know Chris Clemens out the last game. What's the status on him?
Well, he had an x-ray which was negative, just a bruise or a sprain in his foot, and he's been getting treatment basically since, and we're expecting that he's going to have a chance to practice here some the next couple days and be ready to hopefully help us on the weekend. Obviously, it's a day-to-day. If he has a setback or he doesn't respond as well, then we'll go from there. But I'm encouraged and hopeful that we're heading in the right direction.
All right, thank you, Coach. The first game for Campbell men's basketball in the Creek Classic coming up this Friday at 2. The Creek Classic this weekend for the men. The women are back home next Thursday, the 30th, as they take on Mercer. That'll do it for this first episode of This Week in Campbell Basketball. I'm Chris Amar saying we'll see you in Gore Arena.